Welcome to this, what I think is now part 11, I think we're up to, of the multiple choice quiz program. Now, in the previous video, we had processed the question, we had got the user's choice, we figured out if it was right or wrong. If correct, we had added 1 to the score, we had disabled each of the radio buttons, and we'd made the next question button active. The state equals normal here. Now what you can see is I've written a bit of code here, which I'll just try and explain. This is the code for creating the next question. So what we need to do is we need to increase self.index by 1. Sorry, yes, that's correct. So the purpose of that is to point to the correct question object that we're now dealing with. The question number also needs to be increased by 1, and that's what's happened here. Now, the next question button, I've made the state disabled so that when we go to the next question button won't be active until we've processed the question. Now, there's a couple of configuration things that I've done here. The question label, which says question 1 or question 2, needs to be updated. So that's what's happened here. Taken the new question number value, put that with that text on the question label. So using configure to change what is currently there. Same thing with the actual question. Now that's obtained from the particular question object that we're dealing with. So this is what this does. Self.questions is the list of question objects. Self.index points to the correct question object, and we're getting the question, and we're configuring this particular thing called self.question with that updated question. Now, to test to see whether this works, we need to add some command binding into that button called self.nextQuestion, which was created all the way up here somewhere. Here it is, self.nextQuestion button. So we need to put that command binding onto it. Once again, take away the opening and closing brackets there. Now let's test to see if this works. Yes, we have success, thankfully. Okay, we've got question 2, and we've now got the updated question next to it. Now what we need to do is to make the radio buttons active again and populate those with the new choices. Now there was a variable you might recall associated with each of the radio buttons, and that is called self.var, and I'm setting that to 0. Why? So that none of the radio buttons will be pre-selected. Write a loop again to go through each of the radio buttons. We need to figure out how many times we need to go through that loop, and the number of answers associated with that question object will be the correct number of times we need to go through it. So using that to tell us how many times we need to go through and enable each radio button. And not only enable it, but put the new correct text on. The variable we had was answer text. Okay, I'm just checking here to see if this is correct. Yes, it looks right. So, apart from the spelling mistake. So we're going to that list of question objects. We're pointing to the correct question object. We're taking the particular answer from the list of answers, and we're going to put that on one of our radio buttons. Okay, so this is going to that particular radio button that we're dealing with, configuring the answer text with the new answer text, and just refreshing with what the variable is that it's associated with, and it's updating or refreshing the value. These things were used when we made the radio buttons. This is simply refreshing those. And the last thing we need to do here at this stage is make that particular radio button its state disabled. Okay, let's have a look and see if that works. Choose our first choice here. Okay, that was right, so the score went up. Next question. Okay, what do the answers produce? We've got that, but our radio buttons are still not active here. So some issue there. I need to have a look at that. Okay, what I have was an error here. Okay, I need to be pointing to the list of question objects, which was called self.questions. Okay, let's run this again. Okay, that looks a lot better. Alright, we've got the new question number, we've got the new question, we've got the radio buttons active, we've got each of the new choices here, and we're ready now to select the new choice. Score went up here, and I've got here retake quiz. Okay, now if I click on that, we're going to get an error because I haven't defined what retake quiz is, but at least the button has changed. Let's click on it. You can see here, here's this error. Okay, and we need to fix that up in the next video.